know me know that I'm not exactly a morning person. I hate saying it. I'm just a little slow in the morning. So I'm always amazed that so many people show up at Creative Mornings and they're already so energized. I also want to thank Cindy Foley, who I've not... Hi, Cindy! Who thought that I would be a good speaker and that I have a message to share. Cindy is from what I call my home away from home, the Columbus Museum of Art. That's one of my favorite places. And so thank you, and thank you Dave and Julie and everyone from Creative Mornings who helped me through this process, including today, because when I walked here, there was no way to show a PowerPoint and look at this miracle now. So Chris, thank you. This is incredible. So I thought, the word was courage, and I thought that probably I didn't have a whole lot of courageous things to speak for. Originally, somebody else had already asked me right around the same time to write a chapter for a program for young girls, young Latinas, on courageous conversations. And I thought, well, this must be a recruiting theme, and if I can do it for teenagers, clearly I can tackle a Creative Morning as well. Can you hear me? Yes? Good. Perfect. So I want to tell you a little bit about the process of the creative process. I always start out very worried about what I'm gonna wear. That's my first concern. And then I spend a lot of time thinking about what I want to say. I think some of you call that procrastination, but it works for me. So I spend a lot of time thinking about what I wanted to say and also what I wanted to take away for you. And sometimes it's a message that doesn't belong to me, but it's what came out. So and I want to start out with that definition of courage, so we are all on the same page. Courage is the power or quality of dealing or facing danger, fear, pain, etc. The courage of one's conviction, the confidence to act in accordance with one's beliefs. Take one's courage in both hands to nerve oneself to perform an action. And you could maybe not see this so well, but that's me at the Adventure Center walking, 100 feet up in the air. And it took both hands, by the way. But when I'm thinking about courage, I go back to so many women who are in my life and people who I know who are incredibly courageous. So I want to do a little exercise with you today. Originally I was going to say stand up. If standing up is a challenge, just raise your hand. Raise your hand if you are foreign born. Or stand up. Ooh, that's it? Awesome. How about if you or someone you know is a dreamer or is impacted by DACA? Raise your hand if you or someone you know is impacted by the travel ban. Raise your hand if your religion or lack of religion is not the majority, is not represented as the majority in the country. A few hands. Raise your hand if you or someone you know have been impacted by gun violence or suicide. Raise your hand if you worry about having access to affordable health care. Raise your hand if you or someone you know worries about access to transportation or housing. Raise your hand if you're paying for student loans. That's a lot. So I want to recognize all of you, and in that maybe for those who didn't raise, your hand, maybe I didn't name a bucket that represents you. Maybe in this group you're a little bit privileged. In this group I could have named other things, other concerns, but for today I just want to recognize the courage that it takes for a lot of people to show up every day. I didn't talk about the ability to get married, which is something we didn't have only a few years ago, and the courage that it takes for some people. So I wanted to recognize that. And for those of you who I did not name today, or your hand didn't come up, please see this group. We need you. We need you to stand up. We need you to speak up. And most importantly, we need you to vote. That's how we make changes in this country. So we recognize this moment that we are living today, and we recognize the courage that it takes to show up. I also want to talk about two women who I consider incredibly courageous. Edith Espinal is an undocumented immigrant who's taken sanctuary at the Mennonite Church in Clintonville. She is the mother of 4 children. 3 of them are U.S.-born citizens. She was ordered to be deported last year, even though her kids are here, her family's here, and it is not safe for her to go back to her country. She's here, she belongs with us, she belongs with her family, and I'm amazed at the courage that she's showing right now. That's her at the door of the Mennonite Church. The moment she steps out of that church, she could be arrested and deported. So she's on my thoughts today. And the other person is Lupe Gonzalo. Lupe is a migrant farm worker with the Coalition of Immaculate Workers in Florida. I am wearing this shirt in her honor today because there are in the United States about 1 million women working in the fields. About 80% of them are victims of sexual harassment in the fields. Also, migrant farm workers get paid about a penny a pound per produce that they collect in really, really harsh work environment. So Lupe comes to Columbus once or twice a year to protest Wendy's. And that's how I met her. There's a documentary called Food Chains, for those who haven't seen it. And the first time I host a conversation, typically in the spring, with Lupe, and the first time I met her, I said, well, Lupe, you're coming to my town to complain about Wendy's. And we are proud of Wendy's. We're proud that it was born here. They hire a lot of people. They are an incredible community partner that gives a lot of money. Why would you come here and protest them? And Lupe said to me something I never forgot. Pay me fair wages and I will never need your charity. So Lupe is in New York City today. They travel with people from all over the country to speak in favor of better laws for migrant farm workers. In the United States, migrant farm workers don't have to be paid minimum wage and they don't have to be paid overtime. So consider those conditions, because I don't want to ever forget the human cost of a dollar burger at the drive-thru. So I wanted to highlight these two women who have an impact in my life and in what I do every day. I don't know if you can see what's here. I'm sure if you're back there you cannot, so I will try to read it out loud for you. We've had 2 very interesting conversations so far this year. In January we had Jay Klaus talk about anxiety. And believe me, there was a lot of anxiety in me leading to this moment. I know about a month ago I sent Cindy an email and said having a panic attack. But I went back and played both presentations just so I could link what has happened so far and bring it up to today. In January, Jay said a lot of interesting things, and Jay, if you're here, I don't know if he is, he used emojis for his presentation, which was my original idea, but I figured that I just couldn't do it again, but it's fantastic. If you haven't seen it, please go back and listen to it. But I love this quote. Anxiety is rooted in persistence. It shows that you care and have high expectations of yourself. And think about the moment where we are, and anxiety is rooted in persistence. And I'm not talking about the mental health component of anxiety, but that nervousness of knowing that something is maybe not well, that something needs to change, and that you are concerned about it. And then last month, Cindy talked about curiosity as a value and how to breed curiosity, how to propagate, how to encourage people to be curious, not only at home, but also in the workplace. And she said a lot of interesting things. Was anybody here last month? Did you do the exercise? No. Slackers unite! But she talked about the wondrous circle. And the wondrous circle starts with wonder. You see something, you notice something, which leads to curiosity, and ultimately into a question or action. And I was thinking about, there's a really good slide on that presentation, and I was thinking how courage is that little moment of silence between curiosity and action. For those of you who have children, you will recognize that moment when there's nothing going on and you're like, wait a minute, why is everything so quiet all of a sudden? Right? You in the back cannot see it, but I'll describe this picture for you. This is my nephew Christian, age 2, shaking baby powder on the floor. And when I was thinking about courage and curiosity, this picture came to mind. He's 5 now. And I asked my sister for permission to use this photo. And she said, well, would you clip out the mess around it? Because I don't want people to see this. But the chaos around it is exactly what I love. Because without chaos, there's no courage. When things are well, there's nothing to change. We had Me Too's moments 2 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago. But we didn't do anything. We didn't talk about it. We had deportations 2 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago. But nobody was protesting on the streets. We've had school shootings for over 20 years now without having a successful action. But it is the chaos of the moment where we are right now that has pushed people to take courageous actions. So I can tell you what happened here. I can tell that my nephew was probably walking in his dad's shoes, came into the bathroom. This is like a mud room where there used to be also a changes station. And he got the mop out of the bucket, knocked the baby powder, and here he is going at it in a perfect moment of joy and creativity. And that's where we are today as a society. We have to go and not shut down to make things happen. He's awesome. I love him. So, courage is not necessarily that marching troops, that what comes to mind is Braveheart, right? Painted faces, take on, go at it, which feels to me so masculine in a way, but it's rather that quiet voice, the moment between curiosity and action that push you through and that makes you say, this is not right and I want to change it, or I want to know more about it. And courage is a muscle. When I think of that picture of my nephew, what happens when you get in trouble as a child, when you put your fingers in the electric outlet, you get in trouble. Something, you get yelled at, something gets taken away. What happens when you take a courageous action at work? You get reprimanded, you get disciplined, you get in trouble. So we lose that practice. So how do we exercise courage every day? Because I'm not asking, I'm going to tell you, there's a group of my friends here. Last year, I had an opportunity to buy one, get one free ticket to Cedar Point. I had 0 takers. 0. They're like, are you crazy? Okay? So how do we exercise courage? How do we practice put in practice this muscle? Especially when there are risks. I recognize that. I am lucky to work in an environment where, for the most part, I can take action and apologize later. And I recognize that that's not true for everyone, especially if you're a small business owner, if you represent a brand. I recognize that it could be hard to take, a stance like Delta just did, like Jenny's right here in our community did. I recognize that there is a cost, and maybe that's not something that you want to do, but there are other things that you can absolutely try it out. Now, you won't be able to see the lovely pictures I've selected for you here, but let me tell you, I've been doing this job now for a little bit over a year and a half, getting close to 2. And I've learned a lot about myself, I've learned a lot about this community, and I'm going to tell you what I had to change, what I'm doing differently now, on how I approach everything that I do. The first thing is that I ask myself, what is the bias that I bring into this situation? Now, I'm going to tell you right now, that is the easy part. Recognize that you have a bias. We all do. In everything. All the time. The thing I forgot to add here, and it should be maybe like tiny letters, is what is the bias that I bring into this situation, and can I check it at the door? So I have a bias. Can I put it aside and do this work without judgment? So if I'm working in extreme poverty, instead of saying, well, why didn't they go to school? Why couldn't they get a job? Why didn't they fill out the application? Can I just put all of that aside and not judge? It's incredibly hard to do, but I try every day in everything that I do just to recognize that. The second thing, this is a lovely picture at Ranchero Kitchen of a group of some of my favorite people, is who is missing at the table. Now, when you say who's missing at the table, you're thinking community meeting, corporate boardrooms, but also who's missing at the fun table. Who are you not including? Whose voices are you not listening? Who are you not connecting? So about, I don't know, a couple of years ago, when I started to participate in events with fair food programs, when the migrant farm workers come to Columbus as a group, we go have Ethiopian dinner. It's their thing. Who knew? They love Ethiopian. We go have Ethiopian and then have Jenny's ice cream. And I realized that there was no need to wait until they come into town to get together with this group of people that I really like. That we could expand the group and just have Ethiopian dinner and get to know one another a little better. So now about once a quarter I host fun dinner with friends, and it's mostly people who I like, who have things in common, who like food, want to try something different, and they need to just be aware of each other. That's it. Anybody can do it. This looks like a perfect place for a fun dinner with friends. So who needs to be at that table? Who are you not included? Not because you're a bad person or racist, or who needs to be here? And be intentional about it. My friend Estella, who's sitting here, and Diana host a event at the Museum of Art, and they do a tour in Spanish, and they are intentional about bringing people to the museum. People who otherwise the museum is there, they know that it's there, it's free on Sundays, right? You would think people will just come. But for some of us, there has to be an ask. And they're intentional about it. So think who is in your space that you are not including, or that you forget for whatever reason. And the last thing is, how can I help? That's a powerful question. How can I help? How can I make this better? I'm not always successful at that. I would say 90% of the times I am full of good intentions and something gets in the way. But what's in me is the desire to serve and to help. And most people sometimes just need someone to listen for a little bit. Can I connect you with someone? Is there someone I know that can help? Can I just be a sounding board for you on this idea or in this project? Can I open a door? Can I facilitate? And everyone in this room has a skill, has a gift that you are ready to give. And I can assure you that on the other side, there's someone who needs that. Whether it is your talent, your time, or your treasure. Someone is ready to receive that. So ask, how can I help? So what is the bias that I bring into this situation? Can I check it at the door? Who is missing at this table? And how can I help? That's my approach every day. And when you work for government, this is challenging. Because people call you with problems all day long. And problems typically require money. And guess what the government does not have? Or if they have money, there's a list this long of requirements and complicated forms, right? But I try. I try every day. A few times I've been successful. I'm proud to say that. So I wrote this quote from the Dalai Lama because I think it speaks to the privilege of those of us who are able to be here today. It's Friday, a lot of people still have to go to work, it's happening. But he said that those in position of responsibility have a special opportunity to expand inclusion and build societies that truly need everyone. A society that sees value in everyone. What an amazing goal for us here in Columbus, for this Creative Morning family to have, to see value in everyone. Like I said earlier, when I walked in here, I thought, oh crap, no PowerPoint. And Chris made it happen. the staff made it happen. Said, there's a cable, there's a thing. I'm gonna run back to my house and bring this other whatever, and magic. Value in everyone. So I don't want you to leave without, a few concrete things that you can do to exercise that muscle of courage. And trust me, for those who know me personally and follow me on Facebook, I thought I was gonna come here today and say, let's march to the State House and demand all kinds of things. But that's truly who I am at heart. But the more I thought of this process, I wanted to give you something that was beyond this time, beyond what's going on at the White House, beyond the politics and the politicking, because courage is above all of that. So the first thing is try, and you will fail many times. For those in the back, this is a screenshot of my phone with a bunch of selfies. Because someone told me one time, you take the best selfies. No, I don't. I take a lot of selfies. One is bound to be good. And I worry that people think that I'm always happy and smiling and full of energy, because we are living this very curated moment where we take the tiny little piece that looks good, put it on Instagram, and move on. So try, put your best effort forward. I'm all in favor of the best selfie, but also let people see you. Now, this is more what I look like when I wake up. And I wish I could tell you that the pink wristband is that I was at a club the night before and I just crashed in bed and woke up a little loopy. But this was actually November 9, 2016. It was the morning after, you all. And someone, and a family member had checked on me to make sure that I was okay. And I had no words other to send a picture to say, well, I'm alive, we'll live, we'll survive. So let people see you, and let people see you when you're down. It matters. It matters that we recognize that this moment is confusing, that I don't know what I'm going to do next, that people around me are worried. I worry about their families, they're worried about their rights, they're worried about being deported, they're worried about their jobs, they're worried about security and safety. It is okay to let people see you. People who follow me, they know I'm going to be talking about gun control. They know that that's my issue. And I had a lot of families reach out to me in the last 2 weeks. I don't know what to do. My child doesn't want to go to school. I don't know how to talk to the superintendent or to the principal, but I'm worried about school safety. So it's not only see you when you're down or sad, but be a reflection of those values and you think that you're passionate about. This is me standing next to a cutout of Cecile Richards, who is the CEO of Planned Parenthood. I believe in the right of a woman to make the best decisions for her and her family. My support of this work is unwavering, and it matters to me. And I respect those who feel or think differently, but know your why. You're passionate about something and you feel courageous about it, but know your why. Why is this important for you? And be able to speak to it with truth And truth in itself, to speak truth right now is such an act of courage. Because sometimes I post something that I read, it felt like truth, and somebody will send me a private message and say, girl, that's fake news. So know your why. Why is it important to you that kids can go to school and be safe? Why is it important that we have clean air? Why is it important that people are not stuck with student loans? That we have fair wages? That we have a better system to create small businesses? Why is that important? When everything feels so urgent. If you get on Twitter right now, there's like 50 items that are like on fire. How do you choose the one or two that you want to focus on? I know mine. Women and girls, immigration reform, and gun control. And I can speak to those to anyone. So pick something that speaks to you, learn it well, and speak with courage. Someone needs it. Find your herd. Who are the other people who also care about that issue? Don't go at it alone. Alone is hard. There's an African proverb that says if you want to get there first, go alone. If you want to go farther, go together. You can see this in the back. I'll describe this photo. This is me, my friend Amelia, with Council Member Luz Brown and Council Member Jaisa Page at the United States of Women last summer. And we were taking this photo, and I saw another friend passing by, and I said, well, come, be in the photo with us. And as we were taking a new photo, I also saw my friend Sandra passing by. And my friends are laughing because they know that this is exactly who we are. It's a selfie of 27 years. But be in that space of including and expanding. I cannot stress that enough. Isn't this a far better picture in the end? And when I looked at my phone, I said, I'm going to keep these. There's something here on adding more women, on adding more voices. Yeah, I'm proud of that. This is probably, of everything I said today, this is the one thing that matters. Stand for art. In anything you do, choose art. If there's normal in art, choose art. If there's whatever over here and a little artsy, choose artsy. This is Francisco Reyes. He's the lead actor in a movie that's playing at the Drexel right now. And I don't know where she went, but she told me she owns 2 movie theaters. Oh, here you are, sorry. And I said she's my spirit animal hybrid because I want to own the Drexel one day. It's the Drexel and the Newport, let me just be honest about it. But Francisco Reyes was in town last week. He is the lead character in the movie A Beautiful Woman that just won Best for a Fantastic Woman. Thank you, Stella. Best foreign film, and it's a movie from Chile about a transgender woman. And I don't want to give the film away, but I want to say this. For many years in Chile, transgender men and women were not allowed to change their names to reflect who they are. That was illegal. There was a bill in Congress for years that never went anywhere. That bill passed. And now transgender men and women will be able to carry an ID that represents who they are. Art does that. Art changes minds. And that matters. It matters in the time that we live today, that we choose art and that we support artists and creatives and people who are producing new ideas. That's incredibly important. And lastly, be kind, be nice. Sounds simple. I fail at this every day. I would tell you, do not follow me on Twitter because I'm probably cussing out the president. I try. Every day I tell myself, do not make fun of these people today. Just for today. Just for today. And then I read the headlines and it's like, oh my God. But be nice. I'm here with my friend Rebecca Nelson, who some of you maybe know and represents and embodies, like many of my friends who are here today, kindness, compassion, generosity, giving, nurturing, a friend and a mentor. I'm sure you have people like that in your life. If you don't, find them. But most importantly, be that. I speak to a lot of residents and a lot of neighbors in little churches and community meetings, and I can't stress enough the importance of being nice. Be a good neighbor. Be kind to, even in traffic. If someone needs to get over, let them over. Maybe they're rushing to the hospital because their mom is in the hospital, or they got a call that I don't know. Just be nice. That in itself is the most important act of courage. And isn't that what we all want? Thank you.